All right. So, is the power of one more the ultimate guide to happiness and success? Right. And it's not just rereading the title, it's meant to be phrased as kind of a question. And so, with that, we're going to do a little book review of basically what I just said, The Power of One More, the ultimate guide to happiness and success. Right. And this is by Ed Mylett. Right. So, if you're not familiar with him, you probably should be. Right. He's, at least it seems to me, one of the biggest kind of people in the like personal development slash business kind of world. It seems does a lot of high level coaching and so on. So kind of who is he? He is a highly prosperous entrepreneur, performance coach, and globally sought after inspirational speaker. Right. For a little bit more of him. So why should you read this book specifically? To that, we kind of take a quote from it saying, "You're much closer to the life you dream of than you think. You're often only one more meeting, one more relationship, one more decision, one more action, or one more thought away from leading the life you deserve." Right? And so that's kind of the power of one more that he has, right? Kind of like one more rep if you're a fellow kind of meathead, so to say. At least you'll get that reference, I guess. But anyways, so it was published in 2022, so not long ago whatsoever. I think I actually got it when he first published it. Is when I bought it. But it's not too bad in terms of length. It's only 254 pages, right? And so, yeah, it's not bad. And it's really easy to read in terms of how it's kind of structured, right, with the chapters and so on. Very segmented and easy to focus on each section itself. So what would you even expect to get in this book, right? So to take another quote, so how to combine intentional thoughts and actions to produce huge changes in your life, right? That's kind of the whole premise, right? It's like, how are you going to actually do this? And he gives new topics, right? So he talks about something called the reticular activating system, and basically how to live, as he says, in your matrix, right? Really kind of getting things from like looking from a neurological point of view and how can you take advantage of that, understanding the science behind it, and like actually kind of forcing yourself to get what you want, right? Because a lot of times people, like, at least I've noticed, even with myself, it's like, yes, you make goals and stuff, but like without changing the habits or how you think things or think about things, it's really kind of difficult to keep doing that. Like, for me especially, it's like, stretching on a regular basis is still a problem, right? And something I work on constantly so I don't just seize up from the life I live, right? So that being said, another thing you can expect is why you should become an impossibility thinker and possibility achiever, right? And those are kind of two terms from him, right? And I'll kind of leave that open for you guys to find out yourself by actually reading the book, right? Other things he goes about is the dynamics of team chemistry and becoming a one more multiplier, as he says. And one thing I do remember that I liked about this book specifically is he goes into, like, if you're a leader, how to really speak to and deal with specific team members, right? And so, like, being able to actually, make a difference for someone who's, I guess, under you, like someone who's kind of your follower in a way, whether that be in like the workplace or whatever, like you're the supervisor or some form of team leader to them. And like, based on their personality, like what they value, what can you do or how can you phrase things to really kind of pinpoint things that speak to them to help them improve and do whatever is best for the team, right? And really kind of improve that chemistry and build that more tight-knit type team to, get things done, right? That's one thing I explicitly remember from this book that was very helpful. So another thing is having a meaningful discussion of faith, energy, and quantum science. And so he does take a rather Christian view towards things. And religion is a big part of his kind of thought process, it seems, right? And that's not saying that's a bad thing whatsoever. I'm just putting that out there because I know some people don't think about it that way. And I kind of like to keep my own stuff out of it, right? Like he has a chapter for one more prayer. I thought was really helpful, as whether or not you are Christian or believe in a specific religion or whatever your case is, I recommend at least the thought process and the application, right? Putting that in there. And so he has a lot of one mores in here, and I'm just going to kind of list off some of them. So like he says one more, and he has identity, try, emotion, association, dream, questions to ask yourself, goals, higher standards, habits, multiplier. Like, you get the idea, right? Basically just focusing on incremental improvements in pretty much every aspect of your life, right? In a way, right? And then he has other sections like defining leadership. Also, he has his 11 leadership principles, and that's in there as well. So that's a big part of it. Like I was saying a minute ago, he has principles of time management, right? Because you need to be able to manage your time. And also goes into impossibility thinkers and possibility achievers more in depth, right? And so again, here's the picture of the cover, or at least the cover so you can see it. But this is one that I plan on reading again just because it's helpful. Even if just, I guess, the way he explains it, I think is helpful, right? At least for me, like, it makes sense how he explains and the way he thinks about things, at least to me. And so I thought I'd kind of share, right? But anyways, with that being said, somewhat similar of a book, much shorter, even though this was not that long. But I'm going to put a card up in one of the top corners for the video I did on As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, right? Kind of more of a, as he says on his cover, it's a book that will help you help yourself, right? And I have that one in front of me too. So, but I'll put a easy card for that one up there so you guys can get to that pretty easy. But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to leave this one here because, I mean, short books for short videos, right? Anyways, so yeah, anyways.